All right, here we are with another episode of the Whack Job Lopez Cuban Golf Pro. That you understand the definition of golf pro, somebody who's definitely afraid of a real job. And on the line here with a couple of members, and we're going to go over what you should be working on. And this might surprise you. You know, everything is so swing oriented on everything you see on YouTube and everything. And I even get some of the guys that are sending me videos and go, well, is my right knee doing this? Is my left knee doing that? I go, you're going to drive me freaking crazy. And you're going to drive yourself crazy. You know, the golf swing is an alignment issue. The ball's going to go where the club face is at impact, period. So then you got to figure out, is there something in your swing that's keeping you from getting the club face back to square? In most cases, it's because the swing's too freaking big. But that's a whole other issue. We're talking here now about trying to say, what can I do that's going to have the maximum effect on my golf game over the winter? There's two things. One is putting, and when you get done with that, doing some more putting. I'm going to show you some stuff tonight here. You know, I go to the practice putting green, is free, and I never have to fight with somebody to get on there and practice. To go to the driving range, they're spending $10 a basket, you know, beating balls so their hands bleed, and half of the balls they're hitting, they're not doing themselves any good anyway, because they're not performing a drill properly or actually creating the right habits anyway. They're just beating balls. And they're hoping. Yes, you want to work over the winter in front of a mirror, and we're going to do that as a separate webinar next week on finding the key swing issue in your swing. What is the right medication? How do I take it? And that's one fallback also. I said, a lot of the guys that tell me, I said, look, when you're sending videos to me, send a video of you doing the drill that I assigned to you so I can see that you're actually applying the medication properly. That's important, because that's what a drill is. It's medication. You know, one guy, you give him erythromycin, it works. You have to give the other guy penicillin, that works. You know, same problem, but a different drill, and for some reason it works for one guy and it doesn't for another. It is not an exact science. All these knuckleheads out there saying they got the, you know, the swing method or this, baloney. Doesn't happen. And guys get it and then they lose it, and they get it and they lose it, and that is the game. That's how it is. Why it's that way, I don't know, but that's supposed to be part of the enjoyment, because it's an elusive butterfly. I mean, you can have it for a week and you shoot 58 like Jim Furyk, and then that's it. You can't do it again. You don't know why. So that's all part of it. Anyway, let's go into what I would tell you should work on over the week. The ball's going to go where the putter face is pointed. I don't give a damn what anybody says. I can swing the putter across, and I'm going to show you an exempt player on the senior tour. There is no cucaracha. This guy's a pretty good player. He's one of the top 30. Didn't have to go to tour school. That's going on right this minute. And he cuts all his putts. Cuts them all. I did a video and sent it to him. I think I pissed him off. But then someone else was doing it. Okay, pissed him off, but so much because he's a former boxer. So I know when you see that, he's going to beat the crap out of me. So bad enough, I told him, because he's from Mexico, I told him, I said, hey, you do roofs on the side. That ain't going well either. So anyway, the ball's going to go where the club face is pointing. You don't have a choice. So you got to control the club face. This is a chart that's in the member section that you can download and print out. I don't use, let's see, tonight I should be able to actually, I don't use this row, this row, this row, or that row. I'm not that dedicated. I go north, south, east, and west. And I'll hit 6 balls from here, and then I have to mark. If I'm 3 feet, I have to mark it right here in this box. Let's say I put a little 5, and I say I made 5 out of 6. Let's say I went to 4 feet, and I made 4 out of 6. Let's say I went to 6 feet, and I made 3 out of 6. So I put a 3 here, a 4 there, and a 5 there. Then from here, I should have either a left to right break or a right to left break, and the same thing on the other side, either left to right or right to left. They should be straight uphill. They should be straight downhill. You have to know these numbers. If you don't know these numbers, you ain't playing golf. You've got to know the numbers, your numbers. You got to know, am I better from left to right, or am I better from right to left? And why? It might be it's uncurable. I think in my case it's uncurable. I'm better left to right than I am right to left. Why? I don't know. Maybe because I've always had sort of an open stance when I putt, and that gives me a better view on left to right. But usually your straight uphill putts are going to be a little better, of course, than the 2 side ones. Here, so that you know that this is your target. Is your target 3 feet like this, or is it 6 feet? And you can't really appreciate it here on the table, but if you go out to the golf course and you put some tees, here's the 6-inch to clean it off. There it goes. And you put some tees around here, 3-foot circle, then make a 6-foot circle with some tees, and try to use different colored tees. I like to use red on the 3 feet, white on the 6 feet. And you will see there's a huge difference between 3 feet and 6 feet. Huge. And it's a big difference in your score, because now every long putt, if 3 feet is the only distance where you're guaranteed to make it every time 100%, then every long putt has to stop 3 feet from the hole. Every chip shot has to stop 3 feet from the hole. Every bunker shot has to stop 3 foot from the hole. Or else you're going to hit the ball 2 more friggin' times. And that is the challenge. You can't get the ball 5 feet from the hole and hit the ball twice. After you just covered 420 yards worth of real estate in 2 pokes, and you get there and you roll it 3 times. You can't make any money that way. It ain't happening. Let me show. I've got the numbers here somewhere. Here they go. From 3 feet, Jason Day was at 100% at the time that I made this thing. 4 feet, Lucas Glover was at 94, 93. Here you got 4 foot John Merrick, 77%. Now watch how it drops off in a hurry when you get to 5 feet. 6 feet, it really tanks. 6 feet, here's D.A. Points, who's on tour, 52%. So half of the time from 6 feet, he's rolling the ball twice. If he's doing anything else but working on 6-footers, he's stupid. Because there's no, why should he even beat 1 ball on the range? Don't even waste your time. Unless you're hitting it all over the planet. You know, if that's the case, shorten up the swing a little bit, get the club face on the ball, and punch shot if you have to. Keep it on the short grass. But you can't roll the ball twice from 6 feet 50% of the time and make any money. I promise you. We looked one time when we were doing this, was we go through these stats on the one-day school that I do, and guess who was down there at 55%? Phil Mickelson. And it makes sense because he has a long flowing stroke, and he can't get rid of it. It's in his DNA. It's just the way he is. So it's great for long putts, but it's not worth a crap from 5 or 6 feet and in. So, you know, you want a short stroke, very short. I say take it back short and kick it in the butt, because the less you move that club face, the better. There's no guarantees. It doesn't mean that's the best method on the planet. It's just it seems like the guys that have long flowing strokes just don't do well from 5 or 6 feet. So, you know, the guys that have short choppy strokes, a la Gary Player, he was like a little short pop. He would just like pop it. And he was unbelievable from 5, 6 feet in. You've got to, and let me see, I think I can make this go back. Yeah, previous. You've got to make this circle bigger, because if your circle is 6 feet and my circle's 3 feet, you're going to kick my ass every day we play golf. Guaranteed. Because you only got to get 6 feet from the hole and you're done. Game's over. Poof, you make it every time. I got to get to 3 feet. Imagine a football team that has to get to the 2-yard line to get a touchdown every time, and another football team only has to get to the 20, they get a touchdown every time. Same difference. Okay? So that's how important this is. I mean, it is vitally important for you to be able to make this circle bigger. And the only way you're going to make it bigger is to chart your progress. If you don't measure the progress, you're wasting your freaking time. You got to be able to go, hey, let me see, from left to right, I seem to do 3, 4, you know, right here, a 3 at 3 feet. Oh, crap, I'm only 50% of the time. You know, you roll 6 balls from each spot. And then you save the charts and then measure a month later, look at it and go, geez, my numbers are better. I must be doing it right. I don't know. Is anybody here listening? Do you ever practice this hard on short putts on the green?
No, but can I have a question, though?
Go ahead. Fire away.
I seem to putt much better on certain greens. Like I played in the tournament a couple weeks ago. I had 26 putts, but my average putts are between 32 and 36. It's horrible. Mm-hmm. I always say how I'm a scratch golfer. My buddy says you can't be a bad putter if you're a scratch golfer, but I beg to differ. But, I mean, when you're practicing this, I mean, obviously I don't play the same conditions every week when I play in tournaments. does that make a difference as far as a certain type of grass, why you putt better on those versus
Oh,
other grasses?
absolutely. And I tell you what, you might have to actually look at the loft on the putter too. And it's so different from when I played back in the 70s. We putted on peanut brittle compared to what you guys are putting on today. I mean, these greens, and you got the plastic spikes, and we used to have spike marks all over the place, and the ball bounce. Putters back in the old days had 7 degrees loft. Today they have 3. So, and the configuration you have might not bode well on, let's say, if you're putting on a Bermuda green versus a bent green. And these new Bermuda greens they have now that you have to cover them in the winter if they get cold, they're sort of synthetic or something. Those things are like putting on a pool table. It's unbelievable. You just start the ball rolling in the right direction and it just glides. But they're fast. They're really, really fast. But, yeah, different kinds of, you might be misreading a different type of green configuration. You're seeing break that isn't there. It might be different speeds. I think speed has everything to do with making putts.
That's my biggest issue. I tend to hit them way too hard. Never short. I'm usually hit it too hard more than anything.
Yeah, you're blowing it through the break. If you get the ball rolling the right speed, you make the hole bigger. When you roll the ball too fast, the hole gets smaller because you got to hit it dead center. So, if I notice guys that are really, 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 really good putters, they're very deliberate in how they take it back. Very deliberate. Boom, very smooth. I get aggressive the 3, 4, 5, 6 feet knee, and I put the club behind the ball, and I go 1, 2, bang, and I kick in the ass. I set that club face where I want to go, and I kick in the ass and make sure I don't move the club face. Keep that club face pointing where I want it to go. Because the ball's going to go where the club face is going. Long putts, I don't think that way. I swing like a pendulum. I take a bigger motion, and I'm trying to just roll the ball over I'm looking at the surface for speed, 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 and then I worry about the line. Because if I don't roll at the right speed, it doesn't matter what line I pick. I don't know if that'll help you any, but I really focus on speed. Everything I'm looking at when I'm looking at a 25-foot putt is speed, because I don't expect to make it. On tour, the guys from 20 feet out, they're 2.3% the best guy out there. So they don't make a living making 20-foot putts. They make a living leaving 20-foot putts within their circle. Whether it be 3, 4, 5 feet, whatever they're capable of making 100%. Because you got to do that over a full year. So it makes a difference. In fact, let me show you one thing. It might make you feel better. Oops. If we go over here, here's the guy I was talking to you about, which is Esteban Toledo. Nice guy. Used to be a former boxer. Let me see if this was the one. Yeah, this is the one. Let me see if I can bring it in a little closer. Hold on. Because I was back behind the ropes on this one. Let me see. Here we go. See how that ball is started? Here he's set up. And this is why I said it's good for you to send me a video of you doing a drill so you're going to know you're applying the medication properly. Why are you going to take erythromycin and keep taking it and it's not getting rid of the rash because you're not taking it right? So here he's doing this medication. He's got this rope he put a piece of string with 2 little poles. The hole's right over here. You probably can't see it from here, but the hole's right about over there. And he starts the ball off, like I told you, he cuts across his putts. Look at the putter. Look at the ball starting left of the string. Then it crosses the string, and then it goes in the hole, which is the worst thing that could happen. The best thing that could have happened to him is to miss it to the left. So that he'd say, damn, why am I missing it to the left? I said, well, you dumb bunny, you got your putter going dead left. He cuts across every putt. But the ball's going to go where the putter face is pointed. So his putter face was also pointed a little bit left. And then I can show you some of these here where he rolled it right down the string. Missed a few on the right. But this is no cucaracha here. He's a very, 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 very good player and a very hard worker. The rest of the caddies complain about him because they say the per hour income to this caddy, this is caddy right here, this caddy with the blue shorts on, because he works, he's the first guy there and the last guy to leave. See, so you got to know you're applying the medication properly to get the right results. Here's that thing again. Okay, how far can your putter pace be? Okay, Here's the reason why 3, 4, and 5 feet doesn't work. I did this with a compass out on a putting green and a piece of cardboard and a little laser thing. From 2 feet, you could be off 2 degrees and that ball still goes to the hole. See, this is 2 degrees to the left or 2 degrees to the right. From 4 feet, 2 degrees right or left is right about the edge where if you roll it slow enough, it will go in. But when you get to 5 feet, you're toast. Well, this is 4 feet, 1 degree. It'll still go in. See, I know I did 5 feet here. Where'd you go? Oh, there's 6 feet. 1 degree off, 6 feet, you're toast. Hasta luego, baby. So that's why I drop off so much. You know, a guy has the putter face off by 1 degree from 3 feet, doesn't feel it, it still goes in the hole. He's 1 degree off from 6 feet, he doesn't make it. And here's what I would do to work on it. This is what I picked up over at Lowe's. And let me, if you go to, oops, that's the wrong thing, you dumb bunny. If you go to, here's quickfixgolf.com. I'm going to go in a different way. I'll get in the back end of the software. Mike, being it, you're an IT guy, you understand all this stuff. I don't.
Oh, yeah, WordPress. I've done that.
Let me tell you something. I agonize over this crap like I have no idea. Okay, so let's go to contact, portal page. What? We stop that. Portal pages. You know, you got to be an IT director and every other damn thing. This is the back end, of course. Here we go. Let's go. Here we go to special reports. There you go. Now, you wouldn't go in that way. You go in where it says member. You put in your name, username, and password. And then this page will come up and it'll look more like a page instead of like this. In fact, let's see if we will let me go to it.
Should.
Yeah, there we go. That's what it looks like to you. And then if you go down here to the bottom, oh, I put it under drills. You idiot. Wait a minute. Here's another one. How to... Did I put it? Oh, here you go. This special report right here explains what I bought, where I bought it. I think I paid $12.97. And it shows you exactly how to do it and put it. There's me doing it right there. It's cold outside. There's no reason why you can't practice in the house. You make yourself a little crosshairs on a piece of cardboard there and put it on the wall. And then you set your putter face down and then put the laser thing and see if it's actually pointed there. You might find out those lasers pointed 2 or 3 degrees to the right. You don't even realize it. If that's the case, you can have a hell of a time from 4 or 5, 6 feet in. And work on putter face control. You can do it right at home, watching the football game, next commercial comes on. Putter face, putter face, putter face from 4, 5, 6 feet in. Pace, pace, pace outside of that. Ball speed, ball speed. Everything in short game is ball speed. You want the ball to die. So you could take this and print that out. Then there's also, I put that chart. Where's, yeah, drills, the drills library. Yeah. And I'm going to Florida soon, and I'm going to do all new drills, a whole bunch of drills. So if you be patient, I'm going to put more stuff on there. Here you go. Download the chart. And there's the chart. You can print that out. I print out a bunch of them. And every time I practice, I would look at the other ones I've done and say, hey, man, are these numbers getting better or getting worse? And hopefully your confidence level will really get up once you develop a relationship between the putter face, the path, and the target, to where you get up to a short putt and you go, I got this piece of cake. You've got to develop some confidence there, because if you don't have the confidence, and my confidence comes through practicing it properly, believing in my practice session or how I do things, and just trusting it. So I put the putter down and I forward press. I go 1, 2 is the backswing, and 3 I kick in the ass. So I go 1, 2, bang, 1, 2, cha cha cha, and let it have it. And I do it the same way every time. And I would work on this over the winter like crazy if it were me. Now let's see where here we go. We were there. You have to put on this one that I bought, you might find a better one, but you have to, that's a piece of paper that I put because the laser is off to one side. It's not right in the center. Now this is one of our students came up with. He found this laser track, and that's pretty cool. Oops, that's me again. So now you know why tour players have trouble from 4 feet now. All right, who's got a question? Anybody?
Well, I'll say something funny.
Go ahead.
I'm like everybody else probably. I hate to practice putting. I'll hit balls for 2 hours every day, but you're right. I spend 4 minutes on the putting green. So, long story short, I bought one of those. I guess it was a Dave Pell's thing with the marbles, where you have the different levels and you to see how your stroke is. Right. And I bought it at a store, and I went out to the putting green for about 6 minutes, hit 25 putts, and I didn't hit the marbles once, and then went back to the store and returned it. So I'm like, well, clearly it's not a stroke issue. But why the heck can't I putt? So anyway, that's my biggest issue. My stroke's fine. It's just it must be either green reading or speed or, as far as sitting out there on the putting green, and this drill seems awesome, but I feel like, well, am I really going to get better if I just hit, putt after putt from 3 feet? What does that actually do? Is it muscle memory or what?
That's an interesting comment. I'm trying to absorb what you just said, because what you said is true. That's the real intangible of golf. What's going through somebody's brain. You can say physically, okay, you do a forward press, you take the club back, you hit it, you do this, you do that. But what's in their head when they're trying to hit that putt? I think what's in my head. What's in my head is I've convinced myself that the putter face and having the putter face pointed throughout the stroke in the same place where that ball has to go is vital. That is going to make or break my making that putt. So then I say, okay, what kind of method can I put together? And your method can be different than mine. It doesn't matter. But what kind of method that I can build confidence in to where I feel like I know that when I set that putter face down, I know it's pointed at the right place. And I built that with the laser thing. Because once I put that laser thing down, I set the putter down and I put the little laser there and I press the button and I go, bang, it's right on it. All right. When I first did it, I put it down. I was several degrees to the right. I went, oh, crap. No wonder. See? So that made sense to me. So I have to make friends with the face of the club face to where I'm just thoroughly convinced that thing's pointed where I need to go. And then I just feel like I take the shortest stroke possible and smack it in the behind. And I believe in that process enough to where my confidence level is so high that I say, okay, that's what I have to do. I did the same thing. My kid was a place kicker, and it was the same way. I says, look, don't think when you go out there in the field, or you have to have a good practice routine. You believe you did the right drills, you practice the right way. You go to the game and kick it. If it goes in, it goes in. If it don't, it don't. That's all you can do. And then another thing you have to be able to do really well, and I saw Bernhard do it when he was here in Richmond lately. He missed a 1.5 foot putt. He blew it past the hole about 2.5 feet with one of those grandpa putters. Imagine how bad he would be if he had a real putter. But you gotta put it behind you real quick. That's the hard part. You gotta have the memory of a defensive back. You missed a 2 foot putt. Okay, screw it. Who cares? You still might shoot 69. You can't agonize over it. It's done, gone, boom, forget it. Let's move on. Bernhard there, he did it. He stopped. He looked at it. He knows he's capable of doing that because he has that problem. He's a yipper. It goes off in his hands, and that, so then he went back and made the 2-footer. Stands there, looks at the hole for a second. Get rid of all that poison out of your system right there and move on to the next hole. In your case, it might be the 3-4 footers aren't killing you. What's killing you is you just are not focused enough on the pace of the golf ball, the speed of the golf ball. Now, here's another thing. Are you using the same golf ball all the time?
Yeah.
All right, that's important. You can't keep switching golf balls because they'll come off the face at a different speed. But just get real focused on ball speed. You know, one thing you might want to chart, if you think, hey, from 4 feet I'm cool, putt from 25 feet, but don't do the same putt every time, and then chart how far you are from the hole. Are you leaving the ball more than 3 feet from the hole? Maybe that's the problem. I mean, are you three-jacking it a lot, or are you just not making any putts?
Well, the last time I played, I didn't take a practice stroke next to the putt. I just walked in behind it, set the putter blade, and putted, and had 26 putts, where typically I take a practice stroke, and then I walk up to it, and then hit it. So I felt like, well, maybe that was the trick for that particular day, that I didn't take a practice stroke. I just kind of said, you know what, feel the putt, get behind it, and just boom. And just, you know, like I said, get rid of all the negativity.
You just answered the question. You don't really have a mannerism of doing business that you're totally sold on, that you have total confidence in. That's what Nicklaus has that you don't. The Nicklaus has just totally sold himself that he's the greatest putter to walk the planet. He's shocked when it doesn't go in. That was one thing Chick Harbert taught me. He won the PGA back in the 50s or something. I used to take lessons from him. He said a great player hits a great shot that he just imagined in his mind. He hits the shot, doesn't affect him. He puts the club in the bag, moves on. That's what he expected. He says a good player hits the shot of his dreams in his head, and he's all excited about it. You've got to be sold on your process of what you do and how you do it. That's how you do business. When you mismanage a business, you lose money. When you mismanage a golf game, you lose strokes. So you've got to manage your mind. That's what Jim Furyk's so good at. He manages his mind so well. The hell with his swing. He's such a good manager, to the point where he's probably aggravating to play with because he's so repetitive and he takes so much time and whatever. But he's learned to manage Jim Furyk the way Jim Furyk needs to be managed. And that's what you have to build a big confidence in, so that when you go to play, you feel like, hey, I could have the worst day of my life today. I could have the best day of my life today. But I believe in one thing. My process is right. Sometimes it's just going to fail me, and that's just part of the game. But you've got to really believe in your process. So you had a little more confidence in just going up and hitting it. But I think if you spend some time on it, work on it, and develop a pre-shot routine, both in what you're going to look at first, how you're going to determine how fast that surface is, and just picturing that ball rolling and dying at the hole, and work on that, both with long putts and with chipping, and then you'll see your numbers go down. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, thanks.
Any other questions?
No, that's good. That's good stuff, man. You know, I'm a head case. I've sent you 4 videos already in like 2 weeks.
Well, listen, there's nothing wrong. Listen, this whole game was full of head cases. There's nothing wrong being a head case. The trick is focusing it and directing it and channeling it the right way. You've got to become somewhat robotic. You've got to find a method, and you've got to stick with it, and you've got to believe in it, and you've got to trust it. You've got to say, I know this will work. And until it's proven to you that it won't, and then you can discard it. But they're all head cases. Are you take these guys on the tour on head cases? Give me a friggin' break. Absolute head case. How can they wake up one day, shoot 80, the next day shoot 66? That's like, what's his name did that the other day? What the heck's his name? Nice guy. I only know the guys in the senior tour because that's where I go. Wes, what's his last name? Nicest guy. Shoots 80, then he shoots 66 the next day. You tell me he's not a head case? We're all head cases. You think I'm not a head case? Holy crap. Any other questions? Or now we'll call it a night. Anybody got a question or anything? Did you learn anything tonight or what?
Oh, that was good. I actually had a question non-related to putting.
Go ahead.
Do you have some time for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been working on some of the drills that you sent me, and I'm hitting into just a net in my basement.
Right.
And I feel like I'm making good progress, but then I go out on the course. I haven't played for 2 weeks, went on the course, had a big hook. Like 4 holes later, everything was good, kind of sorted out the ball flight and was doing okay.
Right.
For the rest of the winter, now I'm kind of paranoid about like working on drills, hitting to the net too much, and then graining too much of a bad ball flight. What do you think about that?
One, you need to go out and video you on the course and send me that versus, you know, take one in the net and then take one out on the golf course. If you know you're going to play, take a swing in the net before you leave the house, videotape that, and go out to the golf course. Because I would be suspicious that when you get to the golf course, your lower body is moving more than you think. There's more movement because you get out to the golf course and your RPM goes up, period, anyway. And then you swing a little bigger. And usually if you're hooking it real bad and what have you, it could be, you know, you're humping it, you're throwing the body at it real quick, and then you come in and flip with the hands and goodbye. Off left, you know, off to the left it goes. But less is more, less is more, less is more, less is more. When you get to the golf course, grab the ground with your feet, stay still, and swing your arms. The more, here's...
Okay. So you're just, if you do quality drills in the basement all winter, you shouldn't be...
No.
Have some crazy habit in the spring.
No, that's what you want to do over this one. Is you want to be able to get in there, and the trick is for us together to pinpoint where the cancer is, and then we got to put the chemotherapy right there. And if you look at this right here, this let me see here. Where's the machine? This is the greatest ball striker of all time. This knucklehead right here. See this here? Hits it perfect every time. Why? Because he doesn't move. This spine stays perfectly still. His body is still. His feet don't move. Nothing moves. Yep. So now the club travels on the plane perfectly. And when you get on the golf course, you get a little excited. You start moving. If we went back to the idiot that made this machine and we said, hey, this machine is cute, man, but I'll tell you what, I want you to make it go up and down and slide back and forth, and I want it to booch out this way and make the hip come out like this. He said, what are you, out of your freaking mind? I need a computer to run it. I want it to stay still and just swing the club. So you're better off picturing yourself, and let me show you this one last thing, and then I'll shut up. That's an accomplishment in itself. You look at McIlroy. Look at his lower body. Doesn't he move? Barely. Now watch. Now he comes the other way. See? He's not sliding all over the place. Look at that. Back of the left hand. Boom.
Yep.
So what I like about this kid, he's got very little movement. Less is more, less is more. The other one I really like a lot is Immelman. You look at him. I looked up his stats one time. He was averaging 296 off the tee, and he doesn't look it. Look at this. Boom. How much more simple can you get? There's hardly any movement in his hips or his feet. His feet are flat. There's hardly any movement at all. Everybody moves too damn much. They try too hard. And then when they get on the golf course, they want to hit it further. Hit it in the center of the golf club. It'll go. You've got to hit the center of gravity of the golf club to get the maximum ball speed off the face, period. And you got to control the club face. And when you start swinging too big, you can't control the club face, so then you hit it way off to the left or way off to the right. I always say a ball in the rough is a one-stroke penalty that's recoverable. You think about that, especially bad rough or Bermuda rough. It's a one-stroke penalty that is recoverable. If you're smart, you'll leave it there 30 yards short of the green because you can't get it on the green out of that rough, and then you throw it up there and make the putt. Okay, you still got a 4. It was recoverable, but it's basically a one-stroke penalty because you took 3 out of the game altogether. That's gone. At least when they were playing here in Richmond, I mean, there's no way they couldn't get a ball on the green out of the rough. Couldn't do it. All you could do is open the face and chop it and try and leave it up there short of the green. So look at the size of your swing. You're probably swinging too big on the course.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep doing the drills and try to get some videos outside when I can. Here in Indiana, it's not going to be very many, though. Not until spring.
That's beautiful territory from what I hear. And big basketball, right? So you guys got basketball coming up soon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Colts aren't doing too well this year, but we'll wait for some basketball.
There you go. Any other questions? If not, we'll call it a night. I'll go finish the rest of the bottle of this wine.
Enjoy.
All right, guys. I appreciate you getting on, and then I'll send an email out. We'll do another one. It's going to be strictly on the swing. I know this was a curveball because I was putting, but I'm telling you, man, if I had an hour to spend on the putting green, just me, I know, Mike, yours might be different. I'd spend 45 minutes on 4, 5, 6 feet in and 15 minutes on long putts. I'm telling you, I know from when I used to play on the road, if I had a lot of 6-footers left over and I got to the hotel that night, I was tired. You grind over those 6-footers, crapping in your pants, whether you're going to get them in the hole or not, for groceries.
Yeah.
So you've got to be able to get that ball close enough to the hole, and you've got to be so confident from 6 feet in that you can knock it in. All right, my man. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Take care.
Bye.